Hello and welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Reacts and more from the list. This time we are going to, as we mentioned on our birthdays ones, a festival that I do want to go to at some point. We're going to Wacken. And we're off to Wacken to see Nightwish perform Ghost Love Score.
We're going in a time machine to this festival because we're going back to 2013, aren't we?
So, have you heard of, know of, or anything about Nightwish?
No, when I was putting the lyrics up for the song, I haven't read the lyrics yet. I just got them up on the other screen. I saw the word Finnish symphonic metal, and I went, "Oh, I like the sounds of this." Obviously, time will tell whether what they do matches my desire for it. But yeah, I quite like. I'd say kind of my Scandinavian experience is more from some of kind of the folky music, and to be honest, a lot of my Scandinavian experience is from Scandinavian TV more than anything else. And but it really resonates with me. I think there's a we talk about it like when you experience music or movies or TV from around the world, and sometimes it is the message and the voice that they bring to it that is slightly off kilter with how maybe it's portrayed in the country that you are, and it makes it extra interesting for me. Yeah, so I've kind of sold myself on this already, so it better not be put.
So they are a band that I've seen live. Download, I think it was one of the downloads I saw them pre this Wacken performance, because I saw them with the previous singer when I saw them. But I won't go too much into where I am with Nightwish. I just already obviously know them. So shall we get ourselves over to northern Germany and into a field full of metalers?
Let's do this.
Siren from the deep came to me, sang my name, my Lord. Still I write my songs about the dream of mine, worth everything I may ever be. The child will be born again, that siren carried him to me. First of them true loves, sitting on the shoulder of an angel without care for love
If Galaxy chocolate tastes good to you, wouldn't it be great if it did good for others too? By 2030, we commit to help 1 million people, including women, their families, and their communities thrive. Just a little drop of pleasure could create ripples of hope. Galaxy, your pleasure has promise.
Try Sudafed Blocked Nose Spray. Gets to work in 2 minutes and lasts up to 10 hours. For a clear head, choose Sudafed.
Whoa.
So,
Many things happening with the video there.
so what did you think of?
Was that Bret Hart playing the guitar? And I mean Bret Hart when he came back, not Bret Hart in his prime. I should add.
It does have a bit of the Bret Harts about him.
Yeah, especially when he was in the solo and he was kind of bent over, so like face down. I think that kind of obscured the face enough to kind of go for me to get a bit obsessed with the Hitman doing that rather than being an awesome wrestler of old. I really like her voice. I think she's got a very good voice, and obviously got to show quite a range of it in that song. Yeah, I was very impressed with her.
Yeah, it is a staple of the symphonic metal thing. Is they usually have a female singer who is either operatically trained or at least classically trained and can belt out and has got some pipes on her.
But also could do the soft bits as well. Like it didn't feel like because it must be quite tempting, as you say, with that almost that operatic voice to go, let's get someone with an operatic voice and let's start them, let's say 60% operatic and take it to 110% at a certain point. But I felt like they started much lower in that range and never went up too high in that operatic voice, but showed that the range was there. And yeah, all the better for it, I think, for me on that one.
So for me, I find all of this symphonic metal just dull to me. It just, it is one of those of the players, all of them, the drummer, the guitarist, bassist, even the keyboard guy, are all very good at what they do. They all, they can all play their instruments very well. It just doesn't ever go anywhere. As you said, Flora the singer is a fucking amazing singer, but I don't think it adds to anything because the song doesn't go anywhere. And this is where I will get absolutely slated in the comments. It's all just nah to me. This is the thing. I am yet to find a symphonic metal band, and I've seen a few because there was a run of Bloodstocks that there would be at least one or two of them there, and one of my best mates loves this stuff and was always like, "You got to come and see such and such," and I'll be like, "All right, I'll come along," and it just does nothing for me. I think this is one of those of if this gets people into metal, if this is a gateway for people to get into metal, then they're doing their job. They're getting people into heavier music. It just does nothing for me.
I felt myself fixated on her a lot more than, and I say her voice more than what was going on musically a lot of the time. And that wasn't to say that I didn't think there was some good bits going on musically. I'd be really interested to listen to the non-live version of this, because when they kind of have that bit, I think it was around the 5-minute mark where they kind of all just jog off, didn't they? And you kind of get that little bit. And obviously, I think for the live crowd, you could see with the live crowd, it was really kind of building that anticipation, and then drummer walks back to the drums, and I think for a live experience, that must be really good. I'd be interested to see what happens in a thing like whether that's just like the beat drops and then comes straight back again, which you could easily see that being what happens in it. Just way too long for me. Like that was 10 minutes 20, and for the amount of stuff I liked in it, I was finding myself going,
this is a
bad boy out, and
this is something that is pretty standard for this style of metal.
Yeah,
is 7, 8, 9, 10, even 20-minute songs. As I said, for those that like this, they fucking love it.
But there is an element of grandeur to it, isn't there? And not even necessarily like this one specifically, but I imagine that the style of it leans to grandeur. We said earlier about opera and things like that. it's not like most opera artists or most classical artists come out and go, right, here's me 1.5 minute rendition. You know, like they do tend to be long, but and I don't know, like in most things, I think length isn't an issue until it's an issue. So with this, I kind of go, I was feeling that 10 minutes a lot by 10 minutes, but I was feeling it at 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes. And I think for me, it felt like to the detriment of it. Now, one of the weird things is, as fixated as I was on her vocals, I wasn't massively taking in what she was saying, and I didn't follow the lyrics. I tend to have the lyrics up now anyway alongside it, but I think partially because I was bored is too extreme, but I was like, oh, there's a long way to go here, isn't there? But yeah, I think like in conclusion for me, I think I liked a lot of parts of it. It feels like that movie by a director that you really like, when they've got to that point in their career where no one says no to them. So then they just put in everything. And one of the things that made him great is someone had been there at all times. Yeah, sort of saying, oh no, like don't have that bit in. And yeah, there was some real kind of we said earlier about like sort of Scandinavian things, and I think there's a lot of, you could feel that kind of that Norse rousing part to it, but also I was really interested to how many kind of vibes and punctuations I felt that like kind of linked in with like Celtic music. But I'd have got that in 5 minutes, and I think I'd have got a package that I would have enjoyed a lot more at a shorter version of this. But yeah, just the caveat slightly of going, but if lyrically it was telling a massive story, I just did. In all honesty, I just didn't pick up on it. And you know, if there was 10 minutes of lyrical content that was required there, then maybe that's what went 10 minutes. But yeah, I couldn't help but feel like I'd have loved this a lot more at half the length.
So yeah, as I said, I know that these guys have a massive following, so I will probably get rinsed in the comments, but I'm ready for it.
I do, like, you know, like we always say on this, like we want to be honest, and like sometimes, like you just like, there've been times where I've just outright really disliked something and kind of gone a lot harder on than that. Whereas I think you're kind of going, not for me. I can see something in it, but it's not my cup of tea. And for me, I'm going, I think I'd have liked this a lot better at half the length of it. But I'd come back for more. But yeah, you know, but like if people do want to pan us in the comments, we're big boys, we can take it. But at least try and kind of give us some context as to why, not just you didn't like the thing I like, so I don't like you.
Yeah, and you know, as Sid said, if he was quite happy there to have something shorter, you know, find us a 3-4 minute.
Yeah, I think stylistically,
song,
I'd be very down for like more in this style. And as I say, like it could be 20 minutes. I think for me, it just has to feel like it justifies the 20, and this one feels like it would just be a much. And we've done that on a couple of other things that we've done previously on the channel. Go and watch our other videos where it's just been those times where you just go, it needed paring back, because it would have been a much stronger product if it had been pared back.
Yes. So as always, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Obviously, go through all the archives, loads of stuff there. All your musical notes, lots more to come.
We ain't stopping.
A massive list.
Yep.
As we work into year 2. And until next time, goodbye.